Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Volkswagen ID Buzz Pro S Plus. This vehicle is sitting on 235/50 Continental tires in the front, 265/45 tires in the back. Now these are wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss silver finish. This is what it looks like with the wheel covers removed. So it's a full alloy wheel. You can see it has those disc brakes there in the front and the drum brakes here in the back. Pretty interesting, new vehicle having drum brakes like this. They call this the blue charcoal and candy white exterior colors. Now the blue looks better than charcoal, so I'm not sure why they're associating it with that. It does look like a nice color. It's not overly loud like some of the brighter colors, but it looks good, nice and classy. Now it has an illuminated Volkswagen emblem, real large there in the center. The camera is right here in the center and is nicely integrated. There's the radar adaptive cruise control sensor there as well. You can see a little bit of cooling there for the air conditioning and battery systems and everything at the bottom. A little bit of airflow here on the outside. Now it has some accent lights here in the front. In addition to the emblem, accent lights, turn signals, everything are LED. It also has a projector low and high beam system that's pretty darn good for a single projector. It's pretty impressive. You got to check out the night video to see how well it works. But yeah, they're real nice. They move left and right. They're auto leveling and all that stuff as well. So you notice it has a little camera here for the lane keep assist system. It's in the bottom of the glass. Some vehicles have it in the top, but this one's in the bottom. So the pillars are blacked out right there. You can see the top part is white. So it kind of has that separation there. Here's the profile. So yeah, basically everything below here, the center line, is that blue color, including the handles. And then up here is either white or gloss black. It even has the center caps there that are gloss black. This part is a matte black. I don't know if you can tell, it kind of blends in, but the very base the vehicle right here, all the way down here, all the way across, is a flat black. Like a cladding, I guess you could say, to protect the paint, I suppose. This is what the key looks like, and it's a full proximity key, gloss black as well. Has the ability to open up the power doors here on the side, the power liftgate, lock and unlock the vehicle as well. But generally, you just keep this in your pocket, and as you approach the vehicle, you can have the settings to where it just automatically unlock the door when you walk up. So you don't really have to do anything. When you get in, you don't have to push any buttons. You just put it in drive and go. As long as you hold the brake, turns it on, and it senses the key. So it's a real proximity system. So the handle has the sensor in it as well. So you can lock it with this little button, or you can unlock it putting your hand behind the handle. So there's a sensor back here, senses the key on the outside of the door, and it'll unlock it. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only. The doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle and kind of seal it up to keep it relatively clean in the threshold area. So the inside of the door, so it has this blue color, and the armrests are kind of like a memory foam type softness. It feels really good. But most of the door is a hard touch here, pretty much everywhere except for that surface there. And then this handle, you can see it's open there, so you can't really use that as a pocket, but you can use it to grab the door and pull it. And then there's the release it, little storage right there. And this is good for an umbrella or something because it goes in here a little ways. So you see it goes in there, so you can put an umbrella. USB-C port there in the door, so you can use this for your phone if you want as well. And there's this pocket. It's kind of, I mean, it's okay, but it's kind of, for bottles, it doesn't, the bottles kind of flop down. It's not really a perfect, place for a bottle, but it works fine. And this threshold area is also a step. So stepping up here, as you can see, the distance is really wide. So you step here, and then you get in. Me, I kind of step over the step, so it's just a little bit of a wide space to get in. So a power seat here on the passenger side, and it's able to go up and down and tilt the back, and then you have the two-way lumbar adjustment in here, and then you have the two presets for the seat. There's also a massage function as well, which is great. And these are pretty comfortable seats. They also have a thigh extension. It is manual. Just lift up on that and pull it out. It's kind of spring-loaded. So you have these contrast stitching with the white piping, looking pretty good. Now this is what they call Moonlight interior. Now I don't know if they're talking about the blue or this color, but it has a cloth here and a leatherette here in the center. So the cloth is up against the hard plastic, and then the leather is here in the center. These are heated and vented seats and pretty comfortable. There's the ID name there. And check out the legroom. It's ridiculous how much room's in here. Just wide open space there. There's a humongous non-locking glove compartment, smooth plastic on the inside. So yeah, really nice. You also have this compartment here, and it's kind of rubberized, keeps things from sliding around so much. And it has like a simulated ebony wood here, non-reflective, like chrome or metallic accent there as well. There's the vents integrated. And then the dash is a hard touch, non-reflective surface. There's also a light up here, and I'll show you that while we're driving. So this one does not have a sunroof. These sliding doors, you just press this and it'll open up for you. They're powered, just like a minivan. And you see the openings are really nice here in the front and the back. No problem getting in and out. Even going to the third row is easy. And once again, just look how much legroom is here. Or just general, just space, you know, that you can use this for cargo. And these seats are like almost all the way back here in the front. So just tons of room here. It's crazy. So the second row has 3 car seat attachments. And you see there, relatively easy to get to. They call them ISOFIX or latch system. There's a little pocket on the back of the seats here. There's another one up here at the top. Looking good, feeling good. These do have the armrests that fold down as well. Inner and outer armrests for the front seats there. So yeah, getting in is very easy. And then you can see it has this, the inside of the door here has a USB-C port, a little storage cubby, power window switch, 3-stage heated seat back here as well. Large pocket, including more of a useful bottle holder, I guess you can say there. Has a sliding glass as well. It's powered. That's what the switch is for. And you have to have the vehicle on. So this is the type of vehicle you have to sit in the driver's seat to turn it on. But I'll show you this window in a second. So when you're inside, you can pull back on this to open it up, or you can press this button here. So there's 2 ways of opening up. So you can just kind of pull back like that, and it opens up for you. And then you can press this button to close it. There's also a little cool strap here and a little hanger. Here's the climate control button right here. So you have the fan speed and temperature and stuff. And the power window switch is here. Yeah, open this up. Kind of neat. It opens up pretty good size. So instead of a regular window, it has like a sliding window here. It's one touch open and close. Now there's a 3-stage heated seat. On the back of this center console, it has this little drawer. So you press down on that and you can slide it out. So it's a cool little drawer. Put some stuff. You can share it with the drivers. The passengers can use this. But this pushes down. When I first saw it, I thought you pull out on it, but you press down on it to release it. It doesn't lock. Once you release it, it kind of flops around, so you can't really leave it out. You have to relock it in place. This center console is also removable, so if you don't want this here, you can just take it out. Just press that button there, releases it, and you can take it out. So it has a cargo mode, so you can lift this up, and the seat will fold down in the cargo mode. Accessing the third row, you can fold the seats down and flat as a cargo mode, but this is the lever here, in which you pull it, and it kind of spoons that seat up to the front seat. And then you have this really, really good third row. I mean, there's like tons of room here getting in and out, just like jumping in, and lots of leg room. Definitely adult friendly, I would say. Has car seat attachments as well. But yeah, lots of room there. There's a cup holder there on the other side. There. Now, it doesn't have one on this side for some reason. I guess you can use it as an umbrella holder as well. There's also cup holders up here, USB ports, little place to prop up a phone, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's very usable for an adult because it's just huge third row. These armrests are soft here on the sides. Now this one it's really nice. It has like a memory foam type softness to it. On this side is smaller though. It has like a smaller one for some reason. The charge door is here on the passenger side, and it locks with the vehicle. So if the vehicle's locked, it'll be locked. It has this little light right here, kind of helping out. It's not like super, I mean, it's bright enough to where it helps out plugging it in, but it also serves to let you know when the vehicle's charging. So you plug it in and they'll start pulsing and let you know that the vehicle's charging. It has a little sticker here telling you what it's doing, basically. It also has the DC fast charging port there as well. So when you plug it in, so I plugged it in with a 40 amp charger at home, and it charges about 37 amps. And so yeah, it does plenty of amps for me as far as charging it. It's one of those type of vehicles, you plug it in by morning, no problem having a full charge. These taillights look really good even during the day. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, there's a shark fin antenna, gloss black one right here at the very top. There's a third brake light here at the top of the glass. There's also a rear wiper there in the middle. Full LED taillights, looking really cool. They have this little animation that when they turn on and off, they kind of go through, giving it a little bit of a cool look. There's also a little bit of a customization, so you can have like 3 different types of animations when you turn on and off the vehicle. Has the large emblem back here, but this one is not a, just going through the animation now because the key got close to the vehicle. But anyways, there's a large emblem, but it's not illuminated, unlike the front, which is illuminated. Parking sensors back here as well, and then the backup camera is kind of down here next to the tag. Be nice if it was integrated up with the emblem or somewhere in the center at least. So opening up the power liftgate, we can use the key, or we can press the button under here, right next to the camera, and it lifts up. Now it has this little strap right here, and it's kind of like just for retro style, I guess, because you're not really using that to lower the liftgate or anything. It's a hard plastic under here. It does have the reflective triangles in place. It does have these really bright lights, and doing a night video on this vehicle, so if you want to check it out, how usable this vehicle is at night, you can check that out. It's a separate video. So here's the cargo space with all the seats occupied with passengers. This is the cargo space, which is a little bit limiting, but it does have this little shelf. Now this is an upgrade here over the Pro. So the Pro S has just an open space here. In this Plus version, it has the little shelf with these little pull-out drawers here. You can also lift it up like so. So it kind of helps out a little bit with your cargo. It depends on your needs though. I can see where this might not be best for everybody, considering that this is very slippery, so whatever you put up here can fall off, which I've had that happen. So yeah, it depends, you know, it depends on your needs. Now you can take this out. You just unscrew this little knob right here. You can take this whole system out. You can also unbolt these rear seats and take them out as well. It has like a little handle right there. So if you need to, looks like somebody's got grass in here, whoever had this vehicle before. But anyways, but yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, they're trying to give you some solutions as far as cargo management. Now, it has these little things right here, and they're kind of integrated. And what they do, they have Velcro on the other side. So you can and they kind of fold in like that. So if you have a box or something, you don't want it sliding around, you can use this to kind of keep things in place. It does a fairly decent job. There's another one on this side as well. Under this cover is the tire inflator kit. It doesn't have a spare tire. There's a little light here on this side, but there's not a light on this side. It just has a 12-volt power supply, a little bag holder. Wish I had more bag holders though. And when you're using these seats for adults anyway, these headrests kind of stick up and get in the way. You can lower them, and to get better visibility, you can also fold the seats down as well and have more cargo space. But once again, this carpet is very slick, and when you brake, things tend to slide that way and fall on the floor. So you have this platform with a slippery surface, and things can tend to slide around, go that way, or fall out the back when you open up the back, you know, so it kind of like gets gets, you know, like gets in a position where as soon as you open up the back, it falls out. So this cargo area can use some work. I would say maybe some kind of rubber mat at the very least. Maybe something with some edges would help out. So yeah, even though we do have tons of room, it's mostly passenger room, and the cargo space is not as usable. Now, if you don't need the third row and you take it out, take these seats out, and take this thing out, then you would have a very usable cargo space and you wouldn't have the problems that I'm discussing. But as it is now, it's a little bit of an issue. You can see the little ID buzz there on that blue accent. There's the USB ports there, stuff like that. Now this right here, you can kind of prop up a tablet right there, and then, or a phone, and then there's a cup holder, speaker, basically the same thing on the other side. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat, and check out these pedals. This has like a play and pause on there, kind of neat, and it kind of looks sporty as well. Now there's a footrest here. Now you're kind of a little bit limited on legroom out here, but it's, you know, as far as your seating position, you got plenty of room, but as far as just where your legs are, it's a little bit, you'd think there's a little bit more room here, but I guess it's not. Let's take a look under the hood. You're probably wondering what the heck is under the hood. When you release the hood, it actually pops out, this emblem, and then you can just pull it out like so. And it has a little strap that keeps it from flopping down too far. But yeah, basically, you just have the windshield wiper place there to put windshield wiper fluid, and that's about it. That's all you're gonna mess with, really. Has other stuff, but it's not anything to be concerned with. But yeah, that's about it. Everything's kind of packed in here in the front for the climate control and stuff like that. And closing it, you just push it like so. Fairly easy to close. Here's what the headlights and accent lights look like. There's the emblem and everything. Looking cool. So right in here is actually what they call an all-weather light. It replaces the fog light. So that little reflector right there. It also serves as a cornering light as well. It does have the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, and little indicators right here on the inside of the side mirror. So some vehicles have it on the mirror. This has it right here on the side. It'll illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. So the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So we have these power window switches. So push it, comes down. It's a laminated glass up here, and I wonder why it's so quiet. And it goes up, one touch. And then if you want to do the rear windows, you press this button. It activates the rear windows. Then we can open them up like this. One touch open, and one touch close. The side mirrors are controlled here. You just pick a side and adjust with that little joystick. You can also power fold them here, and they're also heated as well. And there's the door locks, and you can also lock the kids out from opening up the doors. This is so easy to just press a button and open up the side door. You can just press that button to keep them from doing that. There's the switch to open up the power lift gate. Now you have to pull it and then hold it for a few seconds, and then it'll open up. The vehicle has to be unlocked. And once again, basically the same power seat, lumbar adjustment, two presets, and then you have the massage function as well. And a thigh extension. But yeah, these are pretty interesting seats. I'm not sure what the color is all about. I don't know if it's like a wine color or what it is. So yeah, here to the left of the steering column. So there's a little storage cubby right here, and it has a rubber pad there on the inside. And it has the headlight switch. Now it's a non-standard headlight switch, okay? So you have to press this button. You can see what's going on here, showing that the headlights are on. The parking lights and headlights are on. This is the all-weather light I was talking about. You can turn that on or off. is a soft touch buttons here. You press that and you can cycle through. So if you don't want the automatic function on, you can just have the headlights manually, press it again, parking lights manually, press it again, turn the headlights and everything off. Press it again, it goes to automatic once again. So that's like the default is automatic. You have more of that wood, ebony wood look anyway. It's like a plastic, but you can tell it's plastic when you touch it, but it looks good. There's also a tilt and telescoping steering column as well. So basically you just get in the vehicle and just press the brake with the key and it just turns everything on, and now it's ready to drive. You just go ahead and put it in drive and now I can go. And then when I'm finished, I put it in park and I basically just get out of the vehicle. And once I get out, once the seat sensor senses that I get out, it basically turns everything off. Now, if you need to turn anything on for whatever reason, you like roll a window down or something like that, it does have a button here if it senses the key, and you can press this button right here to turn things on. So if you're not sitting in a seat and you need to turn it on, you can do that. Okay, so I'm sitting in the driver's seat getting a massage, so I turned the massage function on. And so yeah, pretty comfortable seats, lots of leg room, plenty of space here. And once you get situated, it's fine. I think a long trip would be no problem because it feels like you're sitting in a chair, you know, it doesn't feel like you're sitting on the floor or anything. Steering wheel soft, kind of rubbery soft, feels good. And has like it's smooth, but it's still texture enough to where your hand is not slipping or anything. And it has a gloss black here. And the power steering doesn't activate until you put it in gear, basically. So the vehicle's on ready to drive, but it's not turning on the power steering until you put it in drive. Now it has these soft touch buttons here on the steering wheel, and so they take a little bit of getting used to because you can do swiping motions as well as pressing motions. So here on the left side is the cruise control. So once you turn it on, it pretty much stays on. You hit set to set it, and then resume, and then you cancel with that button. You can also change the mode. So if you want the lane keep assist system, or you want regular adaptive cruise control or whatever, you can cycle through that. And you can change the speed here and the distance in front of you. This is the volume for the radio. You can kind of slide your finger here to adjust the volume. You can also slide your finger here to change to the next track. And then there's these buttons here, which correspond with the screen, the view, and then these OK and these arrow buttons. The heated steering wheel is a heated, like a 3-stage heated steering wheel. So you press the button, so now it shows right here, heated, so it's like the high, and then medium, low, press again, it goes off. And it has like a little haptic feedback when you press the button as well. Voice recognition is here, and then you have this view button. So you see what the little screen looks like right here. I hit the view button, it changes slightly, hit it again, changes slightly. If we go left and right on the steering wheel, we can change the view here, what you want to emphasize. So yeah, it's not like overly complex or anything, but it does have some, you know, changes in the way it looks. And if you want the odometer to show up, you get out of the vehicle and then you can see the odometer pops up there. So yeah, if you're sitting in the vehicle, the odometer just kind of disappears basically. I'm gonna hit the brake again to start everything up. So it's pretty simple. So this screen is kind of interesting because we have, let's go here to this right here, because that's in the radio screen I started off with. But you can see there's different icons just like your phone. You choose what you want. And you also have icons here at the top. You have the climate control there at the bottom. And you can pull down from the top as well, adjust the brightness, and change whether you want dark mode or light mode. I prefer the dark mode even during the day for sure. You have the different drive modes here, the battery settings, charging settings, seat controls there. But yeah, the icons are handy because they're intuitive, and they're big enough and they're separated enough so one of the things about touchscreens is that if you're driving and you reach out to press a button and you hit a bump, then you press the wrong button, right? A lot of people have that issue, but having large icons that are very spaced out like that, I think helps out with, you know, hitting the right button, so you're not, you know, spending too much time looking at the screen while you're pressing buttons. Here on the right side is the shifter, and basically it's pretty straightforward. You move it, you twist it forward to go to drive, like so, and then you pull it back gently to go in neutral. Just hold it there for a second. You also have deactivate the anti-roll function if you're going through like a drive-through or something, so you can hit that. So if you have it in neutral, it'll automatically turn on the brakes, but if you turn that feature off, then you can roll through a, you know, like a car wash or whatever. Now if you put it in reverse, pulling it all the way back, puts it in reverse, and you have the camera system that pops up here, which gives you the rear view, but also this top-down view, which is excellent. Also, your parking sensors are active, but you can turn those off if you need to. You have different views here, a more wide, super wide view, and then there's the more linear view. So yeah, these are pretty good camera system. Giving you that top-down view really does help. Now, I wish it had a dedicated camera button, because you have to hit this button, go to parking, and then hit camera. So it's a little bit, you know, a little bit of roundabout trying to get to the camera. I wish it was just like a single button. You just press it somewhere, and you know, and then it automatically, you know, you're able to access this camera a little bit easier. Here on the left side is the windshield wiper controls. So you have automatic function as well, and then here's the rear windshield wiper controls there, and the rear and the washers as well. So that there's a light here on the dash. So as you start it up and do different things, it's going to go ahead and put it in drive, and you see that light kind of makes a little flash. Put it in reverse. So certain times this little light will activate it, especially if you have a navigation set, and it'll kind of help you with, you know, direction you're going. It'll kind of swipe in the direction that you need to drive. It's like, and have it once again on dark mode. We can zoom in and out. It's very responsive. You can look for charge stations as well. There's the drive modes here. You have Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Custom. Comfort is basically perfect because it gives you still have the same acceleration. Sport mode, you have a little bit more responsive pedal, and then you also have more engine braking. Comfort is just comfortable, you know. Eco is okay if you need a few extra additional miles. But, you know, it's whatever you want. And then you can, of course, set up your own custom one there. Charge settings are here. So you have charging, you have optimization, like if you want to optimize the battery, it's cold outside, you want to go ahead and warm it up before you get to the next charge station, you can do that here. So there's charging. You can set the maximum charge percentage. You can also change the charge rate as well here in the settings. Pressing this button will take us to the home screen, which is kind of like a split between the navigation map, the radio, the vehicle status, the charge percentage, that kind of stuff. It's kind of handy. And then you have the climate control. So let's go here, and then let's go to the full climate control. So once you're in the climate control screen, you don't actually have to go in here. This is just kind of cool to show you. It does have settings as well. You can control the heated seat if you like on the screen. But all the adjustments are down here. So the driver and passengers' temperatures are adjusted here. There's there. Once you can sync them, or you can unsync them by just controlling this one. You just slide your finger across here like so. Hit that to sync if you'd like that. And then you have the heated and cooled seats, high, medium, and low and offs, 3-stage. And then heated part, that's the driver and passenger. And you can choose here kind of like a basically a shortcut to the seat here. You have automatic, or you can turn it off and, you know, adjust it manually if you like. Turn it off if you want. So yeah, the temperatures are out here on the outside, and then the volume is here in the center. So you can just like on the steering wheel, you slide your finger like that. So yeah, it's kind of a quick rundown of the screen. It's a little bit different, but it looks really good. The clarity, the colors, and the different menus look good. And once you get used to the flow of the software, it's pretty cool. So there is 2 USB-C ports here. There's also a wireless cell phone charger. Now my phone doesn't fit with the case on. I have like the wallet case. But if I take my phone and put it in there, it starts charging, no problem. And it's fairly easy to get in and out because it doesn't go all the way down. It kind of sticks up a little bit like so. So there we go. So yeah, and it kind of keeps it out of the way, and it doesn't slide around on you while you're driving. Keeps it in position and charging the whole time. So with the case off, it charges fine. So right in here is the buttons to open up the side doors, the sliding doors. Now you can turn that feature off here if you like, so that way they're not accidentally opening up or anything like that. This opens up like here, and then you have two cup holders. Kind of cool. Kind of lifts it up out of the way when you don't have cups. Yeah, lots of legroom there. Probably could put a bag or something here when you get in. And this center console, once again, it's removable. So you press that in, you can take it out, lock it in place. There's also a little compartment there. You can open it up, put some stuff. I got my business cards in there. And then you have this open spot here, which you have these little dividers, which you can put in different places, depending on your needs. And the bottom part is rubberized and has little dimples there, keeping things from sliding around is easy. There's another divider there. Both the driver's seat and the passenger seat has these armrests, and they have these little buttons there on the side. So you move it down, and then you lift up on the button, and you can kind of put it right where you want it, release the button, and it locks in place. It just keeps it from going down. You can always lift it back up. And that's the lowest position there. The rear view mirror is auto dimming, and so yeah, there's no buttons or anything. It just automatically dims at nighttime. Then you have these little lights. Turn on all the interior lights. You can press the lens, turn on individual lights here. You can also adjust the brightness by pressing and holding it, and it'll get brighter, and you just let go when you want to get to the brightness that you want. If you don't want the interior lights to turn on with the door, you can turn that feature off here. That's the off button. And then you have the roadside assistance buttons there as well. And you have this one. There's a little visor with a mirror. It also has a light there. Now the visor is like wrapped in vinyl. It's like a vinyl wrap. And then the headliner is like cloth, black cloth. So it's a little bit different. So looking at the visibility in the back, it's a heck of a lot better with those seats down in the back. With those headrests in the way, it kind of causes a little bit of an issue as far as, directly out the back window. When it's plugged in, this little light here on the dash will turn on, showing you that it is charging. Looks pretty cool. Has a little status animation going on that side. And you'll see here that it's charging. And on this screen, you'll be able to tell what the range is, what the percentage is. It shows on the screen as well, but it gives you a little bit more information. The charge rate, and then how far it's actually going to charge. So right now I have it set up to 90. You can bring it, typical is 80. 80% is pretty much recommended for daily use, unless you need the more miles. And then you can bring it all the way up to 100 if you need to. But you just want to use the vehicle, that day, and not just let it sit for a long period of time.
It's really hard to compare this vehicle to any other vehicle on the market, really. The only thing that somewhat comes to mind would be the EV9, the Kia EV9. It's a 3-row vehicle that EV, but this one has its own qualities. Like, this one has a lot more room inside. It is literally like a mini bus. It's hard to even compare this to a minivan because it just has so much more room than a minivan. It's really impressive what we have here. But even though we have a long wheelbase, the turning radius is so sharp and so small that you can zip around in very tight spaces. It doesn't limit you as far as the size of the vehicle. It's really well done as far as the turning radius and how you can maneuver in small, parking lots and parking spaces and all that stuff. Just turning around in a small road like this is like no problem. It's pretty amazing. But overall comfort, the ride quality is good. That long wheelbase really does help out. You can feel the weight a little bit. It is a heavy vehicle. You can feel it, but it's low. It's not a high center of gravity. It's a low center of gravity for the most part. So it handles it well. And overall, it's quiet too. I mean, really the loudest thing, like right now we have a little bit of wind noise. That's about it. I mean, I don't really hear much road noise, and outside noises tend to stay out. They're not really getting in too much. It's mostly just wind noise, really. And depending if you have the climate control on, you might hear that, if you're sitting at a stoplight or something. But road noises are almost nothing. So yeah, being quiet in the vehicle was good. The overall comfort, I would say that the seats they're okay. They're not the most comfortable in the world, but I probably would have no problem with driving on a long trip. Especially considering you have so much room to get positioned. You can kind of get positioned any way you want because we have all this room. And the visibility in the front, once you get used to that there's two pillars in the front, there is a window in between, but once you get used to that, the visibility is great. We do have a large dash, but the nose doesn't stick out past the windshield much, so it's not like you have to worry too much about the front end. Because you can't really see exactly where the front end is. But it's so short that it's not really an issue. Plus, of course, you have the camera that help you out with that as well. But overall, it's a pleasure to drive. It really is. Especially on the highways, because, long wheelbase, it keeps you straight, and, you just feel solid and confident at high speeds. And you have, a substantial vehicle. It doesn't feel like the little tiny thing that's going to blow away, right? It feels good. And, yeah, so long trips or something. The only issue with long trips is that your range, you would have to charge, more often, especially in the wintertime when it's cold, which will lower your range. And also at high speeds will lower your range as well. So you don't really have the longest range in the world. So on long trips, you definitely want to plan out your charging stops and make sure you leave plenty of time to, to stop and charge and all that stuff multiple times, depending on how far you're going, So you want to, not wait to the last mile. You want to, go ahead and charge every couple hours or something like that to make sure that you're not going to get too low and, just in case you run into a charger that doesn't work or whatever, or if your range is lower than what you expect, especially if you're new to EVs and you're new to this one, you don't really know exactly how much range you're actually going to have. Because the estimation is one thing, but then the actual real world is another, So sometimes it's lower than what the vehicle's estimating, especially when you get started, on a cold day or something like that, and how you're driving makes a big difference. As far as acceleration, it is very responsive. It's not like it's a pin you in your seat acceleration like some EVs. It's a larger vehicle, so, you don't want to have, it's not like the type of vehicle that's a race car or anything. It has great acceleration, much more responsive and enjoyable than any other vehicle that's in its size range. But it's, don't expect it to be like super fast or anything. It's fast enough. It does the job, and it's not slow at all. It does feel strong, but you just want to take it for a test drive, right? Like similar to the Kia EV9. It's hard to even imagine. It's like compare it to that. Really, it's just a type of vehicle that's hard to compare it to anything really. The Kia EV9 is the next thing I can think of. This fairly large 3-row, but nowhere near the amount of room this vehicle has. This is just ridiculous how much interior room we have. And I believe this one actually drives better, in my opinion, than the EV9. But yeah, you know, there's not really any vehicle like it on the market. But as far as just the driving, it is a pleasure to drive, and it's hard to really explain, you know, because EVs, if you're familiar with EVs, then you'll know how the characteristics without having a transmission shifting and the responsiveness to the pedal. Now you notice this little line that's showing up on the dashboard. I don't know if you saw that. That's kind of ties in with certain information. So like say right now I have the navigation set just to demonstrate. And so as you approach a turn, it's gonna like swipe in the direction that you need to turn to just kind of remind you. So there's a little status light on the dash that lets you know when it's charging, or you know, certain features. You can turn it off if you want to, but it's kind of cool to have the little reminder up there on the dash, right? You know, similar to a heads-up display, but it's on the dash, so it alerts you and gets your attention, really. So if you're not paying attention to the navigation, like I don't have the map up right now, it kind of like, you know, it's a little reminder. Also, the heads-up display, speaking of that, it has two modes. The white like the white letter mode, it also has like a snow mode, so it turns everything blue, which is really good. It's not just for snow though. Like if you have a lot of glare on the road, you have a real bright road because let's say the sun's shining or whatever, or the roads are wet from rain, and then the sun shines on it and you have some glare on the road, you can't really make out the heads-up display. Well, this one turns everything blue, so you can actually see it a lot better. It pops out a lot better from the background. So I like the snow mode even when it's not snowing. It looks good. It looks really good. It's very sharp and clear, and yeah, easy to see. It's not distracting. It has relevant information. It has the navigation, turn-by-turn navigation up there. It has the status of your cruise control, of course your speed speedometer, digital speedometer, and then the road sign assistance little thing there, so it shows the road sign. Now the road sign is still white, but everything else is blue. The lane keep assist system works really well. It doesn't fight with you, and it holds the lane well. It also has a grip sensor, so I can just barely touch the steering wheel and it knows my hands are there. So it doesn't rely only on a torque sensor, which is typically, you know, where you have the problem, where you have to constantly move the steering wheel to let the system know that you're holding it. This one, you just gently hold the steering wheel. It can tell your hands are there, and it doesn't bug you. So that's good. So yeah, that's really well done. Now it does a good job of, as far as the bumps in the road, typically it smooths them out, right? But since it's a heavy vehicle, if there's a lot of rolling in the road, it just kind of like, you know, you're gonna feel that a little. It's gonna be a little bit slightly more amplified, I guess. But if there's just like sharp little bumps, it handles that really well. But if there's any kind of like large, I don't know how to explain it, like variations in the road, you'll kind of feel it gonna go in there on certain roads. But most of the roads I've driven on, it's been fine. It's been the suspension handles the weight of the vehicle really well, I would say. Maybe you can see that blue line on the dash once again, telling me to turn. It's gonna happen again here in a second because I'm going the wrong route. So watch this. On the dash, it's going to tell me to turn and do a U-turn. See, on the dash has that line telling me to go that way. So yeah, it doesn't take long to get up to speed. Starting out, it handles the weight really good. Strong acceleration. Strong and quiet and full control. And that's the thing about EVs, is that you have full control. There's no like shifting gears and stuff like that. The pedal gives you full 100% control over the acceleration. Also quiet, you know, like there's not all this drama accelerating and revving and shifting and all that stuff. It's just, you just go. And only takes a few seconds and you're already at the speed limit. And so yeah, no problem. Now I have it in comfort mode. If you want to put it in eco, it'll save a little bit on your range, give you a little bit better range. But there's also sport, there's also custom. Now sport will give you a little bit more responsive acceleration basically. And but it will diminish, since it's using more power to give you more control over the acceleration and stuff. It is going to diminish your range quite a bit, depending on how you drive. But if you just want a little bit more responsive pedal, then, you know, sport could come in handy. Because on EVs, sometimes the drive modes make a difference here. But it's mostly the responsiveness to the pedal. It's not like you're really going to get, you know, more pinning to your seat acceleration or anything. But it's going to give you more engine braking, or in this case, regen braking, and then it's going to give you just a more responsive pedal. I like the comfort because you still have about the same amount of power. It's just you don't, you know, the pedal isn't all overly precise. You know, you kind of drive like a normal vehicle. And then if you need the extra range, of course, you can put it up to eco, and it'll just give you just a few extra miles, which could help out, especially if you're, you know, just kind of cruising along with the cruise control on, that kind of stuff. Then, you know, eco should be fine for most people, I would say. Just kind of turn around here. I'm going to turn it really sharp and show you how much of a small space you can turn around in this vehicle. It's pretty much ridiculous. The wheels turn so sharp that you just turn around basically on the rear wheels. It's amazing.